So just a few words here on our presenters. Myself on the right, I'm the Director of Marketing at PCI Geomatics. I've been with the company for over 5 years now, and I have a background in the geospatial industry. I've been working in the geospatial industry for about 18 years, and I'm currently responsible for marketing at PCI. I have a lot of experience working with lots of different satellite imagery and software for application-based remote sensing. Freddie, who is going to be giving our demonstration today, works on my team, and he's an application specialist. He hails from Ryerson and Waterloo. He has both a master's and an undergraduate degree, and he's going to be he's a key member of our team who helps out customers around the world to work with our technology. So before we get started, I have a quick poll. We're trying to make sure that we tailor these webinars to the audience. And the first question we have is, what programming language are you using? So I'm just going to launch this now. And if you can vote live, that would be fantastic. So I'm just going to talk for a few minutes here as you review this question. So PCI made the decision a while ago to go with Python. We think Python is a language that's used quite a bit in the geospatial world. There's a lot of flexibility and capability and libraries out there that can be used and leveraged. So we did make the decision to go with Python. But we're interested to know what you're working with. Maybe you're working with Easy, which is our programming language that's used within the Geomatica software, or maybe you're already using Python. If you're using another programming language that we have not put in the list, if you wouldn't mind typing it into the questions panel, that way we'll have a record of it, and it's just going to be helpful that way. So thanks very much for voting. We've had quite a few people respond, and actually a strong majority of people are already using Python. A few are using JavaScript and C++, and also a large number of people are using Easy. So thanks for voting on that. So if we quickly look at Geomatica as a platform, so let's now get into the content of the webinar. What we're going to be looking at is I'll be speaking a little bit about getting more from imagery and developing the potential to develop vertical applications using Geomatica as a platform. We want to convey to you some of the commercial opportunities or the efficiencies of operations opportunities if you're a government organization or a nonprofit where the platform can be used to develop efficient applications, repeatable applications that can be deployed to multiple users. Then we'll just give you a quick example of a sample purpose-built workflow that we have developed as an example for the mining industry. And then I'm going to hand over to Freddie, who's actually going to code up a real script that's going to perform some operations using Geomatica, and he's going to do that basically from the resources that we have available that are available to you right now. So you'll see that it's quite easy to develop scripts with Python and Geomatica. So what are we best known for at PCI Geomatics? We're quite famous, I guess, if you will, or most known for providing software for ortho and mosaicing of remotely sensed data, primarily satellite and air photo and radar as well. We make it possible for users to get the geometry right. You know, what we're really famous for is for making base maps. So when I say base map, I mean something like this. This is a satellite image that is maybe composed of multiple images that have been combined into a single image, or a mosaic, if you will. Maybe there's been some pen sharpening applied. But one thing for sure is that if you're using Geomatica, the geometry is going to snap perfectly well. We have great tools for doing that, so the road vectors will line up perfectly well. But question for you, is there more being done with imagery? The question is absolutely yes. And imagery can be more than a base map. And in terms of, I guess my message to you, partners and customers and people on this webinar, how do you get more from imagery, or what do you think could be done in terms of getting more from imagery? And we'd like to impart to you the possibilities that are using Geomatica to get more from imagery. So imagery is used to get information. So here's just an example of some chlorophyll and leaf area index information that can be derived from, in this case, rapid eye data using some processing capability within Geomatica. Here's an example of some volumetric information that could be used for industrial mining applications. So here we see cubic meters of aggregate material that's been extracted from a construction site, and that's done through, again, stereo overlapping imagery and digital elevation models, and differences in different digital elevation models over time through the Geomatica software. Deforestation is another application that can be performed. Here we have two overlapping images over a deforested area where Geomatica is used to automatically detect changes and create polygons that can be used to calculate surface area and calculate tangible metrics for measuring those changes. 3D urban information can be derived using, once again, 3D stereo data. And also maritime information can be derived. So in this case, what we see here is a ship detection application. And the targets that you're seeing here on the open ocean are typically derived using synthetic aperture radar data, which can see through clouds and image in the dark and so on. So what does PCI provide to make it possible for you to develop these applications and extract this information? So we have a proven platform that's been in existence for several years. PCI itself as a company has been in business for over 30 years. We have a real wealth of algorithms available. We have over 550 PCI algorithms that can be called through Python now to perform different functions, either individually or chained together as a complete workflow, or chained with third-party applications like ArcGIS or open source GIS platforms or any other software, really. What we also provide is a scalable architecture so that you can deploy our technology to either a desktop computer, a server-based environment, or a cloud-based environment. And once again, we provide all of this capability through a development platform that is now available that can be customized using Python. So where do you fit into the program, into the developer platform and our program that we're increasingly making available to you? Basically, every user can be a developer. So if you're a user of Geomatica, you have an existing opportunity to automate, integrate, and expand your work and create new applications within Geomatica, or with other software that you're using, maybe chaining together. The other key benefit is that every developer essentially owns their work. So you get to keep, distribute, or possibly sell down the road what you've built to other Geomatica users. So there's a really great opportunity here. And hopefully, as an attendee for this webinar, you're kind of seeing where you fit in and where you could derive benefit. And that's what the purpose of these kind of introductory slides is, to help you understand where you can get benefit from the developer platform. So just a bit further on that, so what can you do as a potential developer of applications with Geomatica? So you can definitely spend time and understand what your customers' challenges are and develop the platform to help solve those challenges. You can develop purpose-built solutions or applications that address those challenges. Then what you can do is you can replicate those solutions in different vertical markets or in different geographies and create market applications or market apps. Here's a quick example of a purpose-built solution, all done with Python, and is completely automated. So the automation essentially chains together existing functionality within Geomatica and also functionality within ArcGIS. In this particular case, this software program that we wrote takes stereo imagery from an air photo project. It extracts digital elevation models from 2 different dates. It calculates a digital surface model, and then it extracts the stockpile information. Then we pass in the information over to ArcGIS, where automatic volume calculations could be performed and a map can be authored. And that map can be a static map or it can be a web map that can be served over the internet to potential users. So this is an example of a completely automated solution that can be built using Geomatica on one side and ArcGIS on the other. The script that made this possible is what you see here on the screen, and just to give you a little bit of a feel now in terms of how scripts look and how they relate to our core technology. These panels that you're seeing on the right are the PCI algorithms that are available, these 550 PCI algorithms, and in this case what we're showing is the automatic digital elevation model extraction algorithm, which works with epipolar pairs. And what you're seeing is the sort of the GUI that's used inside of our desktop application versus the actual script, how it looks, the different parameters that are populated, and the execution of that script through Python. So this piece of code here at the bottom, which you'll get more detailed feel through Freddie's demonstration, is how all of those parameters that are populated with the values are passed to the execution of the program through the Python command interface. So in terms of the benefits or the efficiencies that can be achieved using the Geomatica platform, here's a scenario where maybe you've already developed some kind of an application for one particular customer. You've spent time with that customer, whether it's an internal customer or a commercial customer. You've understood what their requirements are, what their challenges are. You've built a solution with imagery and software, and it's a custom solution. It's a one-time occurrence. It has limited benefits and efficiencies because really you solved one problem for one person. But the reality is there are probably opportunities for you to repeat this solution to other people who have similar challenges. So here our example is an industrial mining expert who probably there's more of those in the world than just the one. So if you can find those multiple people, then you can build a solution that can be repeated, and that can of course give you increased benefits, whether that's providing your customer base, if it's an internal customer base, with more benefits, more efficiencies in their workflows, or if you're thinking from a commercial point of view and trying to make a business out of this, you could definitely have efficiencies in operations if you're developing an application that's then used by multiple customers down the road. So I guess what solution will you build? So this is a particular customer, PCI customer, that built a solution for aggregate mining industry. And really what they were looking for, and what many of their existing customers were looking for, is a repeatable solution. And the common theme that multiple customers have in this industry is they want timely, they want accurate and frequent collections and derived information for volumetrics. So they rely on volumetric information for decision making, for revenue generation, and reconciliation with government authorities for taxation and so on. And so they rely on this information, and multiple customers have this exact same requirement. So there's a PCI partner that's actually built a solution that repeats this offering for multiple folks, and so there's an opportunity here for you to maybe do something similar. Just a few more words about our developer program. So to make this all possible, we're standing up a complete program that will provide you with benefits immediately and for years to come. So at the core of our program is our technology, and this is technology that is constantly being updated. We have both PCI algorithms that are available, these 550 PCI algorithms that do a myriad of different things for processing geospatial imagery and data. We have our spatial framework, which allows you to manipulate different geospatial files and support different types of spatial data. And then we have our generic database technology, which supports different sensors, and we're constantly updating that with new sensor technology. For example, Spot 7, which is new, ComSat 5, Worldview 3, all of these new sensors that are constantly being added in our industry, we're adding those to our core technology. So this core technology is constantly being updated, and at the same time what we're doing is we're standing up all the capability that you need to have a platform for development. So we have documentation, we have SDK. A lot of this you're going to see in this presentation. We have already a lot of this information available to help you become successful as a developer. And then in terms of a community or an overarching network, we're putting in place a developer program which gives you access to other people in the community, other partners, code snippets, all of the information that you need to be successful. We plan on doing things like getting developers together on an annual basis for a user group meeting and so on. And really the message here is we're creating a sustainable network so that the investments that you're making in developing applications through Geomatica are sustainable for years to come. So just another quick poll before we launch into the demonstration. So the question we have here is essentially, what are you interested in developing with the Geomatica platform? And we have a few different options here, and we're looking to see if you're looking to improve your existing Geomatica software, workflows. Maybe there's something that you're doing repeatedly that you're looking to implement, and you're thinking of doing that with Geomatica. Maybe you're looking to optimize your internal workflows. Perhaps you're looking to develop your own applications or combine it with other technology that's out there. We gave an example earlier in the presentation on combining the technology with ArcGIS. Maybe you're looking at combining it with some other application that we don't even know about. And that's an important message also, is the PCI Geomatics is, we're not an expert. You're the experts in your particular vertical domains, whether it's agriculture or mining or financial information generation or whatever your field happens to be. We specialize in the core geospatial technology, and we really want to pass a message to you here that you have an opportunity to develop applications for your benefit using our platform. All right, thanks very much. It's pretty encouraging to see that a lot of people are actually thinking of combining Geomatica with other software or other programming interfaces, which is really interesting because that's an area that we're quite keen to see develop and grow our market, if you will, and help you grow your market in new areas. So at this point, I'm going to pass over to Freddie, who is going to be giving us a live demonstration on the Python capability. Freddie, over to you.
Oh, thank you, Kevin. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so do you see my screen now?
Sorry, Freddie, the poll was still open. I just closed it, and you just have to make sure you press Show My Screen on the panel there, and you should be all set. I don't see it quite yet. There we go. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. Do you see now? Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thank you, Kevin. So now I will talk more a little bit about the Python capabilities and how they can be extended from Geomatica. I will explain some important aspects about the installation, the Python environment, and the resources PCI offers. So first we need to make sure that we have the correct version of Geomatica in order to be able to use the Python capabilities with the tools. This is also important when integrating Geomatica and ArcGIS tools. So in order to use Python with Geomatica, we need the 2014 version or a newer version of Geomatica. A trial version of Geomatica can be downloaded from our website. If you visit this link, you will be able to get to the page where you fill out the information, and then you can receive an email with another link for downloading the package. So I'm just going to quickly go here to the website, to this page. I actually have it here open. So you're going to land in a page like this where you just, as I said, fill out the information, your first and last name, email, and then you'll receive another email with an installation package link that you can use. We offer a 15-day trial license. So the installation is very straightforward, and when you've downloaded the package, you just launch the installer and follow the instructions. You got to make sure that the Python is installed as well when it's prompted during the installation. If you are not prompted, you may already have Python installed on your computer. The Python 64-bit environment comes with the Geomatica 2014 installation package. So you got to make sure that you have this version of Python to work with the Geomatica tools. As I said, it's very important to have the Python 64-bit process installed when you want to make use of the Python capabilities. This is required also, as I said, to create scripts using the Geomatica tools, and it's also mandatory for the integration with ArcGIS. So I'm just going to show you where I have installed my Python here. So this is my Python 64-bit. I'm just going to open it. And a way to check if the integration is working fine after the installation, you can just quickly type import PCI, and you're supposed to get this message here that the PCI framework has been installed and everything's working fine. If you don't get this message, there could be problems with the installation, with license or configuration of your Geomatica software. Let me go back to my presentation. So this is very important as well. You got to make sure you have this version of Python. After we check the environment of Python, we are now able to use the Python capabilities with the Geomatica tools. PCI also offers a variety of resources for people to learn how to use Geomatica and Python. The first resource is the Geomatica Online, where you can find information for over 550 modules that we have. You can search for a specific topic or tool, and you can find a description of the module. The variables you need for that specific module and some example scripts. So you can see here on the right side of my screen that you have, this is information for Ortho 2, which is to ortho rectify images. You have all the variables, and you have a very detailed description on how to use that specific tool. We also offer tutorials that can be found on the website. These tutorials are useful for you to learn Geomatica, how to use a specific tool, or how to write Python scripts. So I'm going to go to the website. I have the website here. I can just show you where you can go. So when you go to the main PCI website, you go to resources, and then you go to tutorials, and then you'll find information about all these different tutorials. So we have a Python tutorial here. We have an overview, Python introduction, and how to do batch processing. We have, as you see, a variety of different topics where you can find information, and obviously a step-by-step guide on how to use these tools. The other resource that is actually very recently that we've created is the Geomatica Cookbook. This section provides some basic recipes for processing of geospatial data using Geomatica's Pi framework. Some of the topics include DSM extraction, DSM to DM filtering, ortho rectification, batch processing, automatic GCP collection, typo collection, among other tools and scripts. Let me show you on the website as well where you find this. When you go to the website, you go to resources as well, and then you'll find the cookbook. So as you can see, we have a variety of scripts that we call recipes where you can do different things. This is very important when you're going to start scripting. You can just copy and paste and modify these scripts if you wish, or just use them like that and make use of the Python capabilities. So it's very important for you to check this website if you're starting to develop scripts in Geomatica. Okay, so now let's get into the Geomatica Python scripting. So the concepts for this presentation, in the script that we're going to be creating, we're going to do some basic Python structure and formats. We're going to define variables and data types. We will import modules from Geomatica, and lastly, we will be calling functions and passing arguments. So this is an overview of the script. We will be using a spot for a raw image of a 20-meter resolution. The first thing we will do is use the import tool to ingest this raw image. Secondly, we will collect ground control points on this image, and then with these ground control points we will be able to create a rational function model from these GCPs collected. And finally, we will ortho rectify this image with the new improved RPC segment. So let's get to the live demo. I'm just going to minimize this. So there's two ways to use the Python environment so we can make use of the scripts and the tools of Geomatica. So I'm going to open Focus. When you open Focus, if you go to Tools, you'll see the Python scripting. So this is one way of accessing our Python capabilities and write scripts. So we can create a new script, we can open an existing one, we can save or run the script that we have already. One interesting thing is that we have the help tools here. So if you click on this help button, you'll see this Geomatica help, and you can search for a specific topic, as I explained at the beginning in the resources slide. So let's look for the F-import, which is the first tool that we will be using for ingesting our raw spot image. So you can see the description of this module. You can see the variables that we need to use, that we need to pass in the argument. And also at the end, if you scroll down, you'll see an example. So you can just copy and paste if you wish to start using your script. So let's start with our script here. I'm just gonna pull this up here. So as you know, we need 5 variables for this module. We need an input file name, which is our raw image. We need the output file name, which is the PIX image that we will be creating. The PIX format is the Geomatica format. We need the input image raw window, image window, and the pyramid options and data layout. You can see with the asterisk here which variables are required that we need to enter a value for that. The other ones we can just leave blank and they will be the default values. So if we start, the first thing we need to do is to call the framework for that specific module. So I'm going to call from PCI.FImport, import F-import. So this line here is calling the framework so we can start using these algorithms. As I said, one of the variables is to enter the path of the raw image. So I'm going to create a variable called raw image, and then I'm going to pass the path. I already have the path here for where I have my raw image. So I'm going to paste it here. So you see in quotes, and I put the R here so there's no problems because I have slashes in a big path file. So the second variable that I will create is the imported image, which is my output file, so where my PIX file will be saved after the ingestion. So I have the path as well. I'm just going to paste it here to save a few minutes. So as you can see, we already have our input image and our output image. So now what we have to do is just pass the argument. So we're going to call the tool, which is f-import, and then we do brackets to pass the variables. So the first variable that the tool asks is the, as you can see here, the input image. So this one here is a PCI string type, and then we just pass this raw image variable. The second thing is the output file, which is the imported image. Let me type imported image. And then we pass the other variables. So this variable here, the third one, is the input image window. So it's an integer, so we pass that in a list as a list format. So you can see the length and you can see all this information that we need. Because it's not required, we can just leave it blank, and then the tool will take the default value for this. This fourth variable is the pyramid option. So we can do either of these options, or we can just leave it blank and it will take the average, and same for the last variable. So I'm just going to pass the other variables. This is a string, so I can just do quotes and leave it as blank for the default values. And the last one I will do tiled 512. So now we have the framework imported here. We have the two required variables, the input and output image, and we're calling the tool and pass these as an argument with our variables inside the brackets here. So let's try running this tool to see what we get. So it says the process is finished. Let me take a look at my output folder to see if we got the image here. So I'm just going to have two screens here, so I'm going to move this one over. So as you can see, our ingested image is in my output folder. I'm going to open it to see what I get. So this is my ingested image, my spot image in PIX format, and as you can see, I have my 4 channels as the other spot 4 images. And so now I can start working with this image because it's already ingested and it's already in a PIX format. So I'm going to close this. So this is important as well that we get messages here. So in case I were to do an error or type something wrong, I would get a message telling me what line has a problem, so I can just go back and fix it. So this is also very important as well to keep in mind when you're scripting and developing processes. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to close this as well. So that's one way of creating scripts inside Focus, inside this environment, which is sometimes people prefer this way because you have you know, your software here where you can import the images, you can be analyzing the results and so on. Another way to do it is using the command prompt. So I prefer this one when you're creating more complex scripts because you can just do it in software like Node++. So I'm going to move over my Notepad++ software. So here you take advantage of the coloring and different things as well. So you can also create scripts in such software, and basically you just drag and drop into the command prompt, and then that will take care of the processing. So the second step for this process is the auto GCP collection. So we're going to collect ground control points on this ingested image. So once again, I call my framework for this auto GCP2 tool in Geomatica. Let me just open the help once again, so I can the variables that we need for this tool. So if you're going to start scripting, I really highly recommend to use this help tool because you have a lot of information and even example scripts which are phenomenal for developing your scripts. So as you can see, we have these variables here. Some of them are required, some of them are not. and you can just start copying and pasting if you wish from the bottom script here, or you can just create your own. So here we have my ingested image. In this path, I create a variable once again and save it here, store the path here, and then I'm going to run the GCP collection and store a new GCP segment in my image file. So I have my raw match channel in the third, which is the third channel in my image. That's one variable. This is the reference image stored in this path in this variable, and then the channel for that one, and then my DM. So all these variables are here, as you can see. So basically, you just create a variable, whatever you want to name this variable. I just call them like this, but you can use different names for this variables, and then you just have to store the path and then pass it in the argument down at the bottom here. So when we have all the variables that we need, that this tool requires, that you can check here in the help tool, you can just pass the argument, the auto GCP tool, and then in brackets you pass all the different variables that we've created, and some of them that we haven't created, but we just pass as blank. As I said before, the tool will use the default values for this. So I'm going to drag and drop this script into my command prompt. So I'm going to minimize this and go to my scripts and do the auto GCP. So I drag and drop it, and you can see the path is here, and I'm going to press enter. So you can see the PCI framework has been loaded successfully, and then we have a message and information about the tool. So you can see these are all the ground control points that have been collected, and some statistical values that are important for you to understand what kind of GCPs you've acquired. And then at the end it says the output GCP segment number is saved in segment number 2. So that you have to keep that in mind as well for going to the next step, which is the refinement and also the ortho rectification. So when we're finished with this, we can go to the next step, which is the ortho rectification. So for this one, once again, we call the framework, so we're going to be using the RF model and the ortho 2. So we create a new variable with the ingested image that has already the GCPs stored in segment 2, as you saw in the command prompt window. And the next step is to create a rational function model from the GCPs collected. So I'm going to open my help tool once again, so we have an idea of what variables we need. Here I can read a description of what this tool does and the variables that I need to pass. So as you see, there's only one that is required. So I have my GCP segment here. This is one variable, so I pass it as 2. As I said before, it's really important to know which one, because you don't want to be passing a segment that is not where the GCPs are stored. I leave this blank to create a new math model, and then the projection, I just leave it as default, and it will take the projections that come with the ingested image. So I pass that argument with my variables that I've created here, and then finally, to do the ortho rectification, I have my ortho final file, which is my output file, that is going to have the final ortho rectified image, and my DEM, so I save that in another variable, and then the map units. So let's take a look at the information for the ortho 2 tool to see what description they have for this tool and what kind of parameters we need as well. So you can see there's a variety of parameters for this tool, and this is the information. If we go to the all the way to the bottom, we'll see what kind of a script we need to create for this specific tool. So these are all the variables that we would need to create, but once again, some of them can be passed as default, and so we don't need to create a variable. We can just pass quotes, empty quotes or empty brackets, and so on. So when we have both arguments passed here in our script, we can just do the same thing. We can open the command prompt and just drag and drop. So I'm going to drop my ortho rectification script, and I'm going to click enter. So the tool starts to process the image. The image is about 332 megabytes, so it takes a few seconds. It goes through all the GCPs collected, and it starts processing the image. So as you see, Geomatica offers us the flexibility of using its Python capabilities in a focused environment, as you saw in the first example, and as well as the command prompt as you're seeing right now. This is an advantage because simple scripts can be created while using focus and take advantage of having the image right there, the result images. More complex scripts can be created in software such as Notepad++ in order to take advantage of the syntax highlights, the syntax folding, auto-completion, the word completion. As you see, it highlights the colors, the different colors and different words, so you can just easily create the scripts. For example, I like this Notepad++ because it's got the tab interface as well. It's got multi-language in case you're using Python or using C++ or something else. So it's got a few advantages, but we offer the flexibility of using a Python environment in the focus window as well. So as you see, the ortho has finished, the ortho process. So let's check the results here. I'm going to go to my output folder, and I'm going to open my ortho image. So this is my final ortho, and I will now import the reference image so we can check for quality. So I'm going to put the ortho first. So you can see these orthos down at the bottom, so I'm going to zoom in to check for alignment. Let's scroll down here. So when we check for accuracy, as you know, I brought the reference image to see alignment between the ortho and the reference image, and here you go. We obtain very accurate ortho from using the capabilities of Geomatica and Python. We can leverage, as you saw, from 550 algorithms we have available in Geomatica and combine it with other tasks in Python to streamline data management applications, generate intelligence business products, and customize other applications as well. So you can see it's very accurate ortho, and it was a simple script. It took a few minutes to even less than that to run. So to wrap up, my message is to take advantage of all these algorithms we offer, start developing tools and workflows, and obviously use the resources that we offer. This can be a base for you to start developing tools, and you can improve the scripts or change scripts, modify the scripts as you wish, even if it's for commercial purposes or research. So yeah, I hope you take advantage of the resources and the tools that we offer. Okay, so I'm going to pass it back to you now, Kevin.
Great. Thank you so much, Freddie. That was a great demonstration. Hopefully people got a sense of how easy it is to take code snippets from our GitHub page and use the different tools available to start writing some scripts and get going. So just a quick poll. Once again, this will be our last one, and this is just quickly getting a sense of how likely it is that you're going to do something in terms of scripting. So the question, I guess, is are you very likely to take this technology and do something with it? This is exactly kind of what you were looking for. Is it somewhat likely? Maybe you'll try a few scripts. You're not quite sure yet. You're not convinced either that it's your particular responsibility or that the capability that we've shown you is what you need. If it's unlikely that you will, we'd like to know whether it's because you think programming is too complicated, or that you're just, this isn't exactly what you were thinking in terms of how robust the technology is that we're showing you here today. So it looks like there's a strong majority of you who are very likely to do something with this, which is great. So I'm just going to close that out now, and I'm going to just wrap up with a few other slides before we go to Q&A. We are doing a series of webinars on the topic of development with Geomatica. This is the first one in the series. We did do one in the fall where we looked at ArcGIS together with Geomatica, but this is really the first webinar where we have a lot of material available that's been developed just over the last few months since then, for example, the cookbook and all of the examples that we showed you in terms of the material available. In March, so in a month from now, we plan to show you the new capability that's going to be available in Geomatica 2015. So there is some new exciting capability that will be added to our latest version of Geomatica, which is going to be coming out in the March timeframe, March-April timeframe. So for those of you who know a little bit more about our technology, we will have the ability to call intrinsics within from Python using our technology. So you'll be able to create segments and move things around a little bit more in depth than you can currently do with the version of Python that's enabled within Geomatica. So we'll get into that in a bit more detail and explain to you the benefits of that in our upcoming webinar. And then we'll do a couple of integration development webinars, both with ArcGIS and with open source. So we'll do one in April where we're going to be showing you how you can integrate third-party libraries from ArcGIS, which is a very commonly used software tool. And then we'll also look at integrating with open source technology in May. Just want to point out to you some of these resources that have been shown to you through the webinar. We encourage you to visit a new website that we're just in the process of launching. If you go to support.pcigeomatics.com, this is a new destination website that we have put together that is really centered on ensuring that our customers are successful with our software. And we will be providing a lot of capability for you to discuss with other users. For example, we'll be putting up a new discussion forum and all of the material that you can access for development. We have a series of tutorials available. These are PDF documents that walk you step by step, common tasks. They actually even teach you the basics of programming in terms of the data types and how to pass parameters and how to declare variables and that kind of thing. We go through that and progressively go to more complex scripts where you're not only executing individual programs but chaining them together in a series and populating parameters automatically by monitoring folders and that kind of thing. We have developed this really great cookbook, which is available through our GitHub page. If you go to the bottom of every single one of our pages, you'll see the little GitHub icon there, the little cat. You can click on that. It'll bring you through to our cookbook page. And we have other developer resources. We've put together a series of YouTube videos recently that we have made available just in the last couple of weeks, actually. And you can definitely go and check those out. One of our key application specialist who's not with us today. He's traveling to customer location as Sean Melamed, and he's put together a lot of this material, which is really fantastic. Hopefully it's what you need to get going, and if there's anything that you see that you're not that is not available, we'd like to hear about it so that we can create the content that you need to be successful. Just one more note, we are going to be in region in multiple parts of the world over the coming months, and I just chose to highlight here some of the events that we're going to be at over the coming weeks and months. So we're going to be really in several locations, and we look forward to meeting you there. If possible, you can get a more complete list on our website in terms of the upcoming events. So at this point, I will open the floor for questions. We are pretty much exactly on time, which is great. And if you have a question and you have not typed it into the questions panel yet, feel free to do so now. Both myself, Freddie, and also David Pickney are on the line. And I'll read the questions out to the panelists, and we'll do our best to answer it. All right, so one of the questions I got during the demonstration, Freddie, was how does the licensing work for this software? So is there a specific package that you have to buy to access the Python capability? Maybe this is a question for David or Freddie. David, sounds like you're going to answer it.
Right. Hi, Kevin. Right. Yes. Thanks for the question. As we saw earlier in the presentation, our goal here is that every user of Geomatica can be a developer, and as such, the Python scripting capability will be available within the Geomatica software itself without any additional modules or add-ons required. It's part of the Geomatica Prime package. So it's in at the same level as our easy scripting and other modeling languages. And anyone with the Geomatica 2014 or later license has access to that new Python interface and the Python tools in the command line as part of their default licenses.
Great, thank you. We just had a question about if this PowerPoint is going to be available. Yes, we will make this this available along with the recording of the webinar. We'll make that available. There's a question here on, so I'll just read the question. Is it possible to design the Python-based PCI functions to take named parameters and for default parameters to be assigned automatically by each function? So I'm not sure if we're equipped to answer that with this panel. Freddie or David, do you have any suggestions there as to how we might address that one?
Right. From what I understand, the named parameters can be set in the variable definitions themselves. As far as setting the defaults, no, I don't think we can reset the defaults. That's within the function itself, but there may be a way to do that in the Python script specifically. I'm going to be meeting with our development lead in a few hours, and any of these outstanding questions we'll discuss personally and get back to the people who've been asking them.
Okay, another good question here on, I guess on interface. So there's a few questions right now in the questions panel on creating a button inside Geomatica or a menu item or some kind of a toolbar. So maybe David, you can give us a sense as to where we are there.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we said earlier as well, our goal here is to really provide a full function SDK, which includes all of the expectations our customers and users would have about what an SDK is and what it does. And this is the Geomatica platform, along with all of the documentation and the APIs and everything as discussed. In the upcoming release notes for Geomatica 2015, we'll see what new functionality has been added into the Python aspect of the software. The goal being that we start with the individual functions and algorithms, make sure that those are available. And then move to, as you said, the file format handling and direct file access is what we're adding currently. From there, yes, absolutely, the ability to add new menu items. And beyond that, we'd also like to have our customers be able to, once they've developed their new scripts and their new algorithms and save these, be able to add those custom functions into the menu, so they can be called from within the Geomatica interface themselves. So the exact timing of when certain functions and capabilities will be available in the SDK will be released as part of the software notes themselves, and we'll have the more material at those times when the new functionality is available in the software, as well as examples of usage and benefits.
Right, and I don't think there's any limitations in terms of creating interfaces using other tools, and we do have examples of that where we've actually created little GUIs using Python GUI building tools that drive the application. And we also, in our upcoming webinar, will be showing you how to essentially completely use the ArcGIS tool tool set to launch a complete workflow. So we'll be showing you how you can actually make your own custom toolbox within ArcGIS and call functions from Geomatica from within ArcGIS. So if you have ArcGIS and you want to create some tools inside there, that can definitely be done as well. I had another question about training. So it's a very good question, and I wonder maybe David, you can give us a sense as to what the vision is there for helping people learn development with our platform over time in terms of training that we would offer.
Right, absolutely. So in addition to the scripts and the tutorials and the webinars and the material that we're making available publicly on the web page, we also have access to the GitHub page where we will have those scripts and examples, and that can be user submitted as well. So what we're attempting is to build up the user community of the Geomatica and Python developers to be able to share and support one another in a really, we'd like to get a vibrant user community running around the platform and the tools here. In addition to that, we have plans to have PCI technical support or input into those sessions or into those forums for our customers on a regular basis. Formal training, I guess, could be arranged through our QA department. I'm not sure exactly on what's available today, but in terms of Python itself, I mean, there's a whole lot of resources available on the web, which really give you the basics of how to program with Python if you haven't been doing it already. And the PCI platform, the Geomatica platform, will fit into those expectations and those norms that have already been developed. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We want to bring our spatial capability into the existing environments for purposes of integration and automation and extension, and really allow that SDK to build the applications that you need.
Okay, great. Well, that brings us perfectly to the hour. It's been exactly 1 hour since we started this webinar, and I think we'll call it a day there. We'd like to thank you all, and thank also Freddie and David for participating as panelists and presenting to our audience today. I think it's been a really good session, and we appreciate all of your comments and questions and your time, really, in attending here today. So we wish you all the best, and we hope to speak to you very soon. Have a good day, everyone.